Hi, and welcome to Straight Talk About God, God in 10 Minutes. It's a series of God in 10 minutes. Now, who can prove God's reality? Not 1 in 1,000. And personal experience can't be used. We have to have objective, court-admissible evidence to prove something like God, right? And what are the implications of that? Well, see, this series, God in 10 Minutes, is meant to give little snippets of different study areas that all prove God's reality, right? Because that results in a basis for acting in trust of Him in the face of negative circumstances. It's called faithing. See, Greek faith, Hebrew faith, they're all verbs. All those words that are translated into faith are verbs. English faith is a noun, Have faith. You can't have a verb. Okay? You do a verb. Well, the Solar Zodiac tells the whole story of the Redeemer, but so does the Lunar Zodiac. The Lunar Zodiac, I didn't know there was a Lunar Zodiac. See, there's a Lunar Zodiac that's so old, it's documented as being in existence 2300 BC. 2300, the Greeks and the Romans hardly even knew about it, if they knew at all, It was in the Chinese. The Chinese had the Lunar Zodiac at 2300 BC. Well, gosh, the flood happened around 26, 27, 28. Just shortly after the flood, here's this full-blown Lunar Zodiac. It consists of 28 mansions, the mansions of the moon, lunar, moon. And each mansion, each house, depicts one day of the lunar cycle, 28-day cycle. Okay? And they're based, it starts again at Virgo, doesn't start someplace else, starts at Virgo, same as the Solar Zodiac. And each major constellation doesn't have the same number of houses. Like Virgo, the beginning one, I'll read those to you, has 5 different houses in one constellation. Some only have 2, some 3. The names of the houses tell the story. And it's the same story. The same story. Watch this. The Lunar Zodiac with Virgo, these are all Arabic names, okay? Al, which means the, Al-Awa, the desired. Jesus is the desired. That's the same as coma, right? The second one is the branch of the power of God. Well, that's what Jesus was. He was the branch of the power of God, right? The third one, Kafir, is the atonement, the propitiation by sacrifice. The fourth house is Al-Zubayna, and that means the redeeming, the regaining by purchase. Okay? And the fifth mansion is Al-Iklil, and that means the complete submission. Oh, there's the whole story again, just like Virgo. Right? Just like the names of the constellations in Virgo. It's the same story. Here's this desired one of all nations who has the power of God, who makes an atonement, a propitiation, and redeems by his complete submission to the sacrifice. It's all right there, right? I'm going to jump over here to Gemini, because Gemini is in the second book. That's the people of God. Right? The Gemini is the marriage of the Lamb. Okay? That's Christ and his church, the two people. Okay? First, there's 2 houses. Deberon. No, that's Taurus again. Wait. Hana, the wounded in the foot. Well, you can't get any more specific than that. I mean, when God said he'll bruise your heel, wounded in the foot, what's that mean? That's the same thing, isn't it? And then The second house in Gemini is Aldira, the ill-treated. Okay? And he was ill-treated. How about Leo? Second coming, beat up on Satan. Al-Gieba, the exalted, the prince. Al-Zubra, the heaped up as sin delayed in punishment. That's the same as the cup of wrath, right? And Al-Surfa, the burning funeral pyre. Okay? See? The whole series of these names thus runs parallel with the signs of the solar zodiac and ends up precisely in the same way, proving that they are of one piece with it. This book is called The Gospel in the Stars by Joseph Seiss. Joseph Seiss, 1882. Well, the evidence that's very hard to believe, and you probably don't want to believe it right off bat, but Noah's in charge of that. Noah supposedly was Mongoloid looking and was the progenitor of all the Chinese. Somebody with a very, very heavy connection to God, knowing all of this prophecy in detail, set up the Lunar Zodiac. You know, Muhammad didn't set up the Lunar Zodiac. 2300 BC, and it says the same thing as the Solar Zodiac. Somebody with a big God connection made that up. You might not want to believe it was Noah, but I do. I do. Okay? Well, that's the Solar Zodiac. Tune in again for the Milky Way. The Milky Way. Thanks a lot for watching. God bless.